Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is Sunday, and what a beautiful Sunday it is. And why is it beautiful? Because it's not fully sunny. That's why it's so beautiful right now, because I can get things done around the house here and not be sweating to death from full sunlight we've had all week long. Well, anyway, today's episode, I have a dilemma. And you know, every time I have a dilemma, I usually find out some way that's extremely surprising how I can solve my dilemma. And we're going to have a solution today to my dilemma, but I don't want to tell you too early because today's episode hasn't started. Now, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Well, if you've been following the series, the last episode that we did here was I completed doing all of the mulching and the composting to that new flower bed area that's around the back porch. But I don't have plants to go inside there. I have a few plants that I originally put inside there that I picked up at one of the local plant nurseries before the COVID-19 breakout and our enhanced community quarantine lockdown. So I put those inside there, but I need some bedding to go in there. Now you're probably wondering yourself, James, what's the ladder doing out today? Does it have anything to do with your solution to your dilemma? And it kind of does, although it's not the ladder itself. I'm not going to put the ladder in the area where I would normally put down some plants, but it's helping me with solving the problem of getting some plants inside there. Now, one great thing about nature, one great thing if you pick the correct plants for your yard, you can always do things like propagate. If you have the proper selection of your plants, and that's what we're going to talk about this morning. The proper selection of plants when you first think out your garden. Well, anyway, I woke up this morning and I looked at the area. Well, let's go look at the area that I'm talking about. Now this is the area that I'm talking about. This is nice, newly mulched, newly composted. This area is all ready for putting down some plants or some vegetation. So, you know, these are the plants that I picked up here from Edgar's place before the lockdown. But I need to get this whole place populated all the way around the side of the porch back here. Now, dilemma. No plants, no way to get plants, unless... This is where our handy dandy ladder comes into play. Let's kind of go up and see what we find at the top of the ladder. Well, I want you to look at this right here. This is a bedding plant. This bedding plant right here is called Tradescantia spathacea. Tradescantia spathacea, otherwise known as the boat lily, Moses in the cradle, and there's many different names that it goes by, but I think Moses in a Cradle is probably the best known name for this plant right here. And it's beautiful. It has multiple colors. It's a tricolor plant here, and it grows really well, very easy. So let me show you what I've done so far this morning. Now, to solve my problem of getting plants, some bedding plants inside the area over there, what I did, I came over here to both of these planters. Both of these planters were so full, they were so full with these plants, different types of lilies, regular lilies over here, plus the Moses in the Cradle over here as well. Anyway, what I've been doing, I've been using my shears, and I've been thinning these out. And taking the plants from both of these and moving them over, cleaning them up, moving them over to the plant bed over there. Well, what I want to show you is it's actually healthy to do that. Once you thin out these and put a little bit more compost inside and mix it with the soil, and then allow these to continue to grow, it'll be healthier. The newer growth will be healthier. The compost will help both the lilies and the eugenia that we have in both of these planters here. Let me show you exactly how to do this now. Now I've already thinned out this area, but I'll go ahead and thin it out one more time. So you're going to grab, and you'll see there's lots of roots. You see all the roots on here, and this is above ground roots. So what we'll do is we'll cut a section like this right here. We'll leave about 3 or 4 inches, on this plant, and then we'll clean it up, and I'll show you how to clean this up to be able to replant. Now here's our plant that we just pulled out of the planter over there. So what we're going to do, this is really not just one plant. We have multiple plants on here. We have, you could call them suckers that come off the main plant, but we're going to take one and make many. So basically, it's almost like, remember when I showed you how to do the pineapple? And you pull all the leaves off the bottom, and then you find all of these roots here. So we're just going to clean up. We're going to clean up a bunch of this here. You can see I've already done a lot down here. I've been working all this morning. I've already pulled maybe about 40 of these off, and I'll show you. Well, you can kind of see over there in the bed where I've already started. So let's go ahead and pull these off, and I'll show you what the nice surprise that you'll find as we move our way up the stem of this plant. Now, after we pull a lot of these off, you'll see they branch off. We have a branch off here, we have another branch off here and here. So this one plant is going to make itself is going to be a plant. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 plants here. So it's very easy, and you don't really have to use pruning clips. You can use your fingers, and you can pop them off right at the point where they connect to the main stalk. And you see, this plant already has roots. You see the roots on here? So what we're going to do, we're going to continue to pull off, just like we did, remember, with the pineapple plants. We're going to continue to pull off some of the leaves on here. And we'll bring it up to where we have just enough where we can put 1.5 inches, 2 inches inside the soil. So we'll keep this right here just like this. And I'll continue to do this with the rest of these on here. And then we can plant this right here. So let's go ahead and plant these inside the ground. Now that since we've already gotten this nice and prepared, the soil is good and rich. You can see all this very good rich soil here, and that's from that compost that we did yesterday, compost and mulching. So we have regular soil mixed with the rice hull and the chicken manure down inside here that's aged, and we're just going to take the section of the plant, the Moses in the cradle, and we're just going to go ahead and just set it down inside the soil. We'll just continue to do this. We'll make a nice little border here, and we'll continue to add. Now I still have a lot more thinning out to do on these planters here, but I think we're done for today. Today is Sunday, so I'm going to relax. I gave these guys a little bit of H2O, some water, some Too Big. I gave them some nutrient in the form of liquid so that they get a good start in their new home. I don't know how many plants I put down here, but I know it's a lot. Now, I'm going to go over to the other side real quick, to the raised bed garden. I just got to show you what's going on in the James and the Beanstalk saga. Now this is kind of crazy back here. I believe I showed you this one just the other day. I thought I had 1 bean. And when these things get mature, 1 bean is enough for two people when you make a dinner and you have a little side dish, because you cut it in small sections like this. When this gets fully in length, 1 to 2 of these pole beans here are good for a side dish on a regular meal. I came out here this morning, and let me show you what I found. I found these 2 up here. I don't know where they came from. These 2 here are growing. These are small. These are very thin. As are these 2 right here. I think this one bush on this side isn't as strong as those over there, probably the way it's planted down here in the ground. Then I found this guy. Look at this guy down here, this long bean right here. So I'm going to have to actually harvest a few of these and bring them back into the house. Update on our cantaloupe. Our cantaloupe is looking good. Remember our mulch that we put down from the grass clippings from the lawnmower. And I have to extend it today or tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to rest the rest of the day. I might rest today and tomorrow do this. I'm going to clean this area up. I'm going to add some of that compost mulch, the chicken manure and the rice hull. In this area, I'm going to move all of these strawberry plants out of here. And then we're going to be transplanting some or seeding some new vegetables in this area. But remember, this is the cantaloupe, but these are watermelon. So we actually got some watermelon growing over here as well. But I also want to show you, let's go ahead and walk over here real quick. One quick step inside here. Now I want you to see the progress of the grapevine that's going here. My eventual goal is to have all grapevines covering this entire top of this raised bed garden and give us a little bit of shade inside here. It will help. It will keep things that don't like full sunlight from being burnt out. But this grapevine is doing great. And this is the first year, so I don't expect to see grapes this year, but next year possibly. And I've been training it through the fabric up here in the top. And anyway, as a matter of fact, I heard it through the grapevine this morning that my beans were growing really well over there. Joke long. I got to tell you, this is a little unusual for me. I've actually completed today's episode. It was done. It was rendered. It was ready to be published up on YouTube. And as I was doing this, I read one of the email entries that came in. Now, as you know, from time to time, we do shout-outs here on My PI Dream. We do shout-outs for birthdays, for anniversaries, for OFW recognition of Filipinos who are working overseas, providing for their families back here in the Philippines. Normally what I ask people to do, if we're going to do a shout out for any of those, I usually ask, please send in the information about you and your spouse or the birthday recipient, your family member, whoever it is. I ask you to do it days in advance, if not weeks in advance, so that we can go ahead and schedule it. And then sometimes people get it in on the same day, or sometimes they get it in the next day. And what we do is we do a belated shout out. Now, I just recently, as I was about ready to publish today's episode, I received an email, and I was looking at the email, kind of trying to multitask, so to say, and I saw a very moving email that came in with a request for a shout out for an anniversary. Now, the email was so moving to me. What I decided to do, I decided to pull back my video, go ahead and do today's shout out, make sure that it gets out on time, and push it again. It cost me an hour's worth of time, but it will make somebody very, very happy. So for today, I want to do a anniversary shout out, and the anniversary shout out is a second anniversary shout out, and it is for Ed and Mary Tess Hodgman. Mary Tess goes by the name of Marie, and they're celebrating their second anniversary. Ed is in the U.S. He's in the U.S. In Libertyville, Illinois, and he's taking care of his elderly mother. She's had some problems, some medical issues, falling down, hip replacement, things like that. Also, Mary Tess Marie, she is back in their home. And let's see if I get this right, and I apologize if I do the pronunciation of the names incorrectly. I do my best. Ness is inside, and she's napping right now. So, all right, well, Ness just popped up. She actually came from outside the house. I'm glad she's out here because I did get it wrong. So Marie and Ed, they have a house in Loag City, and that's just north of Ilocos Norte. That's way in the northern part of Luzon. Anyway, Ed also shared that Marie is in her second year of a 4-year degree up at Northwestern University in Loag. And doing just great. I guess she took a long break, and then she went back to college again. So, and he wanted us to relay that he's really proud of your accomplishments, Marie. So, unfortunately, Ed is back in the U.S. and not going to be able to be personally with you for this anniversary, because he's taking care of his mother back in the U.S. Plus, with the complication of the coronavirus, the travel restrictions associated with COVID-19, he's unable to do any travel. But he wanted to surprise you, Marie, with this announcement. Shout out today on your anniversary. So anyway, from both of us, we want to wish you a happy anniversary. Oh man, I'm thinking maybe 2 to 3 weeks and those bananas are going to be ready. I can't say I can't wait, because we've been eating so many bananas lately, especially from the banana chip making episode that we did the other day. We've been eating bananas like crazy. What I wanted to say before I close today is, although we put down all this bedding plant over here, that type of plant, don't eat it. Don't eat it, because in consuming that, humans consuming that in large quantities can make you very sick. But I don't think anybody would eat that anyway. But some people like to experiment, and a lot of the vegetation over here in the Philippines that you see in the woods, a lot of it's edible, a lot of it's used for medicinal purposes, but don't eat that. Also, if you have skin allergies, make sure you wear garden gloves. I didn't wear garden gloves today. It's one of those things, do as I say but don't do as I do. But I don't have problem with skin allergies. I've been blessed that I'm very healthy across the board, especially for someone my age. But you will get a little sap, just like the bananas. You'll get this little sap. And if you have allergies, you'll also get a rash on your hand. So definitely use gloves if you're doing gardening with that. And it's the sap that comes out of that plant that does it as well. So anyway, what is the moral of today's episode? What's the moral of the story for today? Well, the moral of the story has to do with propagation. Anything that you have inside your backyard, anything, you can propagate it, whether it be from seeds, or whether it be from cuttings, or whether it be from suckers that are on the side of a banana plant like these. No matter what, you can do that. You can make your yard fuller. You can enhance your yard. And it's all up to you and your imagination, but also your know-how. And I hope you got something out of today's episode that helped you along with if you want to do something like this. Now, we'll keep an eye on these plants, and you'll see how it will fill inside there, and it will eventually look something like we have back here. It's a beautiful bedding plant. I think we came here earlier today. But that makes a beautiful bedding plant. It also helps with keeping the moisture inside the ground. It's kind of invasive, but it's not deep rooted. When I say invasive, it spreads. You see how it does over there. It's filled in really nice. But that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for in the backyard back here. Well, again, I have to close. I keep saying I'm going to close. So if you found today's video, if you found today's episode interesting, if you found it informative, if you found it entertaining, please give me a thumbs up. That's a dirty thumb from those plants. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little MPID Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You will be subscribed and you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful, blessed, and safe day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right, and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.